They say that Xenogears is one of the greatest RPGs of all time, a must-play PS1 game. It's always on those top 10 lists. It's always recommended. They say that Disc 2 gets a little bit sloppy, but it's an experience you need to experience nonetheless. So I decided to dive in and stream Xenogears, but I gave up on Xenogears and I put it down. So in today's video, I want to talk about that, my experience, why I put it down, if I will ever pick it back up again. So with that all being said, what is up guys, Jen here, hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the channel. As always, got you covered with the timestamps down below, so if you want to skip to a certain section of the video, feel free to do so. All I ask is you to support the channel and hit the like button, and if you want to stick around for some more RPG content, then please consider hitting the subscribe button. Yes, I gave up on Xenogears, and I'm hoping I can get my point across on the reasons why that is, and if I'll ever decide to pick Xenogears up again, because like I mentioned, it's always been on one of those top 10 lists. A PS1 game you must play, an RPG that you must experience, and Xenogears was never released here in the PAL region, so I never knew about it until the mid-2000s, where I started to venture out and see what other RPGs were out there and come out of this Final Fantasy bubble that I was living in. But it wasn't until just last year that I started to play Xenogears, and I played it live on stream to just share that experience, hopefully document it, and then eventually get to a review to share with you guys here on YouTube. But that's not happened, and we are here, and I've gave up on it. So the way I want to tackle it, I've been thinking, like, how can I structure this video? Is I think I'm going to do it the way I always do, with the going through the beats of the game and talking about my thoughts and opinions, but weaving in why ultimately I gave up on the game. So we're going to dive straight into story. I'm not going to give you a synopsis of the story or anything. This is more of a video from me playing and giving up to those that have played Xenogears, and see where we can meet and what advice you might want to give me. You might want to comment down below if you have played Xenogears, or maybe you're someone in my position as well that just didn't click with it and had to put it down. But the story, I think it's phenomenal. I think it's such a great story. The fact that this came out in the late 90s and it has the amount of content in it there is. You're probably thinking, Jen, how much did you play? Played about 40 hours of the game, and I was sold. I was really sold on the story and all the things that Xenogears offered while telling that story, from the animated cutscenes through the small voice clips here or there, and then obviously just the amount of text and story dump from the main story, talking to NPCs, interacting with objects, just traveling the world. There's so much there to get you to know the world, get you to know the characters. And that's what I love about RPGs, when it gives you that option to just find the lore. Like, you want to know more, talk to an NPC, talk to them twice, they might have something different to say. Have a look at this sign, have a look what this shop sells. All of these little details to the lore and story I absolutely love, and I did that, and I tried to play the game, because it's always a difficult situation when you play such a big game on stream, on how you want to tackle it. Do you want to appease the audience that love this game and make sure you tackle everything? Do you want to play the game as natural as you would, with no guide or guidance, and just, if you miss things, that's fine? Or do you want to occasionally skip dialogue, or not have to talk to all of the NPCs because you feel like you might be wasting an entire stream on just talking to NPCs? So it was really hard to decipher what I wanted to do during these streams. And I think I wanted to know the story. I want to know the lore. And I think that might have been a mistake on a streaming perspective, because I took breaks. I stream every week, so there was an entire week that went by. So when I'd come back, I'd have to refresh myself by watching one of my VODs, and it just wasn't clicking. I was forgetting things, and then the big story beats were coming along, and it was like, I feel like I should be more excited than this, but I'm not as into it as I thought I would be. And I think that's on me and the way I decided to play the game, and I can hold my hands up to that. It's going to be a frequent theme that will be visiting the fact that I decided to stream this, and again, it's not on the viewers, it's on me deciding to put myself in that position. So let's talk about the gameplay. Let's go into exploration. I've mentioned it as we've been talking about story. I love going to all of these nooks and crannies in games, trying to find secrets, little side quests. I played many games of rock, paper, scissors in this game just to get a little item that I never ended up using. It was just for me to flex and say, hey, I won this big round of rock, paper, scissors. I love things like that. And that's where things shined for me, like the gameplay, the world, the little things you could do, finding items in hidden areas. It was great, and Xenogears does it so well. And I don't really have too much bad to say about that. When it comes to the combat is a beast. There is so much to think about when it comes to combat, because we have the normal combat, or we're going to be fighting in the mechs. And it took me a while to get used to the way the mechs work, not to be able to heal as much as you would if you were healing yourself normally in RPG. I had to reconfigure myself to the way that Xenogears wanted you to handle the mech battles, and you just kind of have to go all in when it comes to these mech battles and hope for the best, because very early on there aren't ways to heal. You get to unlock more ways to heal, but I didn't pay attention because I was always focused on the story and wanting to deliver the story. The gameplay faltered sometimes for me. I wouldn't be upgrading my mechs as often as I should. I didn't buy the latest items for my characters, so when I went into these bigger battles, I was severely, not underleveled, but underprepared. I would wipe so many times, especially with the mech battles, and it was just tainting me and just getting me down and making me think, I don't really know if I'm getting into this. I don't think things are happening. I'm not clicking with it. I should be exploring more, but I'm trying to do all these other things, and it just wasn't clicking as well as it should have done for me. I think you can see the common theme here. The mistake of me playing Xenogears was deciding to stream Xenogears. So where does that leave me now? There's so many things that I've not touched on. I think the soundtrack is phenomenal. Heck, I'm going to talk about the soundtrack. I really like the soundtrack of Xenogears. It kind of reminded me of Final Fantasy Tactics. Now, I don't know if the composer was the exact same composer or if it was a composer of a different game. I'm sure you'll correct me in the comment section. Really should have done my research beforehand and had the name on hand. But I really liked the sound of Xenogears, just that grandiose feeling in some of the battles, but then that tech and ominous feeling of what's going to happen. I think it was a good combination, and it really added to the experience of Xenogears. But back to the mistakes that I made streaming Xenogears. It made me give up on it. It made me not want to play it. I don't really want to touch it for a long time. I think that when I eventually build up the confidence and the will to go through this game, I think I want it to be an intimate experience, and I'm hoping this is where a lot of you could relate maybe. How was your first Xenogears experience? Did you play back on the PS1? Did you only just visit it recently? Was it an intimate and an alone experience, or did you decide to share it with the world? I made the mistake on wanting to share it, and that isn't on the people that I wanted to share it with. That's just on me, with all the responsibilities of trying to keep communicating with everybody while getting on with this such in-depth story, and it just didn't work. I've learned from these mistakes, and I wanted to talk about it because I want people to know that I tried Xenogears. I played it, and it's on the list. It's still on the list, but we're just not quite there yet. So I'm going to leave it there. This video was just kind of a little talk between me and you, and how I could tackle this. Maybe you have some advice. Maybe you're like, yeah, Jen, you should really just play this on your own, in your own time, and enjoy it. You might want to play it on a handheld device. You might want to play it on the computer. You might even want to play it on a CRT TV. I will take all of the advice, because I do want to revisit this and allow this to be like part one of a video that may come many years down the line, but a video will come nonetheless. I appreciate your time. Please get involved in the comments down below. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side.